okay?
We didn't disconnect twice. We Afghanistan?
Oh my God, that picture.
I'll be right here. Not to be everything was no. Like you were still basically me. I'm like, what's going on at the end? I'm like, basically hired me for another job. But she didn't ask. Think about that. It was just.
Oh, they have orders
Are we still?
We just keep going back.
Are we still discussing? Are we still discussing how he screwed you?
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, I need to pull you up the devils because you know Adam.
He's not giving up his dinner.
So hard to work with.
I got the initial part. And I saw Frank the next day. And he's like, I saw the whole thing happen at like 3 a.m. So I went to sleep figuring out so we got a call to go run. He's like, I'm sitting at home. I was sitting at home, like, I would have had a choice. I would have taken the pay.
See, that's one assignment. I think of anything I can do. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm get my nails done. I'm out.
Seriously, I saw Frank the next day. And Frank was like, I had the day off. I thought for sure I was getting a phone call being told to, he was sitting at home. She didn't even call or text him, nothing. She went and started yelling at freelancers. Like, didn't have to pull anyone off of anything. He had to pay.
Hey, Jim.
It's like he had to pay someone anyway. That's just happened.
And they're all in New York. You were closer to New York than that.
Yes, I was sitting in Madison Square Garden. By the time I got my shit together and got out of Manhattan and got up to this.
Hey, look, it got me out.
Yeah, I mean, because I was like, yeah, but it was funny because you left, and I'm like, no, it's so. Dude, we thought you left because of Morty, and I'm like, he is so pissed at Morty. He just walked off the assignment. Like, holy shit! I'm like, yeah.
Frank and I had just talked about it, and we saw grass, and grass was like, I think no one left the assignment yesterday. The two of us, like,
Excuse me, sir.
don't assume anything.
Where's young Gabriel? Do you know?
Because we're sitting there, I'm like, dude,
Outside?
I'm like, what the fuck did he tell Julie?
Oh, he's going live outside?
Oh,
that's brutal.
And she was like, okay, go. Like, I was like, damn. Like, Morty's got it in now. He's like done. Like, And then the next day, so after
They're good in place.
so after the game,
Yeah.
so after the game, oh
No,
dude,
play with the camera.
when I fucking tell you yesterday, I'm shooting this basketball, right? First game ends, I walk back to the press room, and who's fucking set up and camped out right next to me now? Schultz. And dude, you want to talk about someone who's completely fucking delusional? All he's doing is asking questions about it. He's talking about who's shot football games this year for them and everything else. He like goes online and just looks at shit. And he thinks that what he did was just like a slap on the wrist, and next year he'll be back again. And I'm like, yeah, he basically told you it's done, but he has in his head that he did nothing wrong. So he was there shooting from Michigan. It was 53 seconds. You know, and I'm like, and all I had to listen to was all this fucking, and I'm like, dude, when are you actually gonna like I'm being nice to you because I'm a nice person. But when are you actually when are you gonna wake up and realize
vacation?
I hate you for what you did to me. Like I hate you for what you wrote behind my back. I'll still talk to you because I'm a nice guy, and I'm not gonna be a dick and I'm not gonna see. But just stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. And then I can see him as I'm editing and sending shit together. He keeps leaning back in his chair so he can look around to see what I'm saying. I almost at one point turned to him and I'm like, dude, it's going to be at Denny in like 5 minutes. So I just go on and look at it all. Yeah, Bruce. It's not about just yeah. I don't need AI.
Most people are bashful, like, no, I'm okay.
Say that again?
He's like, no,
you want? I have no problem with people talking shit about me. Because, I mean, let's face it, sometimes I probably deserve it. But the fact of the matter is, you can talk shit about me. I'm a big boy. If I can give you a dick, I'll tell you your dick. And I know I'm sick sometimes. You can tell me what you think. Listen, here's the thing. The text that he sent, I'm a shit photographer. Okay. You can tell me I'm a shit photographer.
secret spot.
Not in those words. His thing was, he was pissed because the intern, the Getty intern at the time, who I think was Matt, was working with Elsa in Philadelphia, and I was on a Jets game with Bella.
I remember.
And he was pissed that he wasn't working. And the way he said it was, if Bella was at the Jets game, we'd get this in Mahomes. What the fuck? 19 exclamation points. You know, one exclamation point just wouldn't convey the message. You know, if you write what the fuck, you put one exclamation point, nobody reads it. But if you put 19 exclamation points, what? And the only reason I know it's actually 19 is because I said it.
His wife had a kid in his I remember. He had a father who was pregnant with his wife.
Makes you think of something.
You guys, you can grab seats.
I'm assuming you'll get one of those.
Hey,
Right here. Champions, there you go. Free agents, well. Good to see you, man.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is obviously an exciting time for the New York Giants as we're set to introduce our next head football coach. Before I get started, I'd like to thank ownership, John Mara, and the entire Mara family. Steve Tisch and the Tisch family, Julia Koch and her family, along with the entire football operation, for your commitment and your collaboration throughout this process. When we set out, we were looking for a proven winner and an elite leader. We're fortunate we were able to find both. John Harbaugh's amassed 193 career victories, 13 playoff wins, and a Super Bowl championship. John has built a foundation of culture, player development, and toughness throughout each of his programs that he's been a part of. He's a proven winner. And when we set out to do this, we knew that John was going to be the perfect person for the New York Giants. When we did our research, what continually came up was John's respect that the players had for him and the ability to develop young men. And with that being said, I would like to introduce to you the next head football coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
Wow, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that very much. And what an honor. What an exciting moment. Walk in here and they say New York's a different kind of place. And I would say it's probably true, man. This is pretty amazing right here. This is incredible. And to see those players back there, see those guys smiling and ready to go to work, that gets me fired up too. So to everybody, just thank you very much. Thanks for being here. It's a profound honor to be entrusted with the responsibility of coaching the New York Football Giants. And my dad taught me that they were the New York Football Giants. They weren't just the Giants, they were the New York Football Giants, right, Dad? All the way back. One of the most iconic franchises in all of sports. I wanted this job. I think I told you that, Mr. Mayor. I wanted this job. And to be on the biggest stage in the biggest sport. I know the challenges. I understand the expectations. I know the fans are hungry for a winner. We're here with one mission: to earn the right to be called the world champions in New York. And that's what we plan to do. If I can introduce my wife, Ingrid. I told you, now you're not coming up on the stage. No, you can just say hi. My wife, Ingrid. Yeah. Our daughter, Allison, she couldn't be here. She's at law school trying to survive right now, so she couldn't make it. She had class today. And my mom and dad, Jack and Jackie, are here. Thanks for being here, Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad taught us to attack this day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Right? We learned that. And that's what we're going to do every single day. Jim and Joni, hey, out there. Jim, we're not in the AFC, Jim. You can breathe easy. But thank you to the mayor and the Tisch families who I had a chance to meet today. It's been incredible to get to know everybody better. Always had tremendous respect for these two families, starting with John Mayer at the owners' meetings and all the competition committee meetings. We'd have all these conversations, and it goes way back. I thank them for their confidence and their partnership in this quest to build up our football team. Everyone involved, starting with John, Steve, Julia Koch, who I had a chance to meet today and talk to a little bit more, Chris Mara was a big part of this, Joe Shane, so many conversations, Joe, thanks. Just great getting to know you and the great football man that you are. Everybody in the organization has just been great. To the Ravens, I'd like to extend a profound thank you to Steve and Ozzie for the opportunity, for the guidance that they provided every single day, to all the players and coaches who have been unrelenting brothers all along the way through the years. We did great things. Thanks, guys. But now as we begin a new chapter in New York, our focus is simple. It starts with building a team that is physical and tough, that's capable of overwhelming their opponent from beginning to end, and especially at the end, that understands how to finish, that is smart and disciplined, that plays the game the way it should be played, and that everybody watching it, including those playing it, will be proud of. We're going to work together We got great and talented people to accomplish a shared mission. It'll be a relentless commitment to this organization, to the city, and the fans to do things the right way every single day. Nothing will be taken for granted. It will always, always be all about the team. The team, the team, the team. Thanks, Dad, for that. It'll always be about that. Now it's time to go to work. So with that, what questions do you have? Who's in charge of the questions here? Yeah. Gotcha.
Congratulations, Coach. I'm Andrew Rosario, New York Beacon News. 2 questions. After 18 years of being a head coach, did you consider taking time off before getting back into the fire? And as you look at this roster, can you tell the fans that they're ready to go to the next level and get to the playoffs?
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. As far as taking some time off, I figured I didn't have enough time to take time off. There's no time for that. So just couldn't wait to get back to work. That was never a question, really. Ingrid and I talked about it. Ingrid's ready to go, too. So we're fired up, and it had to be the right opportunity. This was kind of the obvious one from the beginning. This was the one, like I said, I wanted. And I wanted it because of that very thing you just talked about. We have an opportunity to go win, and I like these players, man. I had a chance to watch tape. I like the way they play. I like their style. I like how physical and how tough they are. And I know they want to be successful and they want to go to work. So absolutely, we can do that, and that's our plan to do that. The plan is to win every game. I mean, one game at a time. You go into every game planning to win that game. That's our expectation. That's what we will be expecting to do that. But we've got to earn the right to expect that by how we go to work and prepare and what kind of a team that we make ourselves into.
Hey, John, Connor Hughes, SNY. How much of a role did Jackson Dart play in your desirability for this job, and what do you believe he's capable of long term?
Right. Well, it's a great question because, the quarterback's kind of important. That's kind of a big deal. And I'm excited about Jackson Dart, and I've seen your backup quarterback too, Jameis, up close and personal 2 years ago. So I saw him complete a bunch of passes. Yeah, I know. There you go. I saw you. I had oh my. Remember that game, right? It was a great game for you. And so it starts with the quarterback for sure. I mean, the quarterback has got to, you build your team around your quarterback. I mean, you build your team around your players and what they do well. And I like the way he plays. I mean, I like his talent, skill set, all the things he's accomplished. But more than that, I like who he is and what he's about. And to me, he's about football. I mean, this young guy loves football. He wants to talk football all the time. And, and that's kind of what I like doing too. So I think we're going to have a lot of great conversations. And I can't wait to get started with him.
John, Mike Garofalo, NFL Network. Through the process, you had a chance to spend a lot of time and talk to Joe Shane a lot, the guy who just introduced you here. What was it about your interactions with him that led you to believe there's going to be great collaboration and cooperation here? No question, Mike. Probably the conversations themselves is what led me to believe there would be great collaboration. I mean, obviously, you get to know Joe, and we start talking ball, and you see he's a football man. This is a guy that this guy lives and breathes football. His knowledge is deep. He knows the league. He knows the coaches in the league. He knows the players in the league. Probably knows all the scouts in the league too, I'll bet, he was impressive to me. And it was just really a joy to talk football and really dig into some of the plans that we might have going forward, see what we can build here. So I was impressed, very impressed.
Hello. Jackson Thompson, Fox News. Welcome.
Hey, Jackson.
Several days before you were hired, President Trump put out a post advocating for you to become the next head coach of the Giants. How does it feel knowing the President of the United States has endorsed you for the job you're about to undertake?
It feels really great, and I'll tell you, I also noticed on that post that he said, "And John, take the job." So I thought that John Mayer might have something to do with that. I don't know, but it's cool, and it's sports. It's sports, and everybody's excited. Everybody follows it at every level. People follow football. They follow the Giants. They follow the National Football League. Like we said, it's the biggest sport, and this is the most iconic franchise in the biggest sport. So here we are.
John, Ryan Dunleavy from the New York Post. What are you looking for in your coordinators and your position coaches, and when will those interviews start, including anybody who is retained on staff?
Right. Well, we'll start tomorrow with the interviews. Obviously, great coaches, I believe, on this staff that we're looking forward to talking to people all across the league, talking to people in Baltimore, obviously, too. We're going to try to build the very best. We will build the very best coaching staff that we can. I'll tell you, it'll be a great coaching staff. But my dad always said it starts with teachers. Coaches are teachers first. The ability to teach, the ability to take a vision that's well organized, a structure that's put together in a really good way that the players can play fast, play around their skill set. You got to create something like that and then present it to the guys and train it in a way that the guys can get out there and play with a lot of confidence. Just cut it loose and play fast. And that's what we're going to try to do and try to bring a bunch of coaches in there that are capable of building that. We're going to do that.
Bruce Beck, NBC4 New York. John, how do you build a winning culture, and how long will it take for this team to win?
That's the second part's impossible to say, but I'm planning on day one. So that's what we'll be shooting for. That's what we'll be working for, and fully expect it to happen. You build anything together. You build it from the inside out. It's going to be a reflection. Culture is kind of a crazy word. What does it really mean? It's a worldview. It's a shared understanding. It's a vision. It's everybody being on the same page. It's talking the same language, all these kind of things, same values, same type of beliefs, right? Okay, that's like a social studies class maybe we're talking here. So what is it in football? It's a bunch of guys that see the game the same way. It's a bunch of guys that want to play the game together the same way. It's a relentless brotherhood, having each other's back, being unwilling to give up because that guy next to you is unwilling to give up. All these things that these guys believe in. We'll decide what the culture looks like together every single day by what we do together. All right? And that's how you build it together.
Okay. Tom.
Hey, John. Tom Rock from Newsday. How are you? One of your early mentors was Andy Reid, who has gone on to have a pretty successful second act in his career.
Pretty fair.
I'm sure you've spoken to him. What were some of the tips and maybe advice he gave to you about changing from one organization to another and finding that success?
Andy's a man of few words, and his 4 words to me were, change can be good. That's what he said. Change can be good. And he was excited. He's fired up for us. He's a good friend. And we'll try to do. You know what? How about we do this? How about we deal that right now? We'll sign up for that deal right now. What he did in Kansas City. Let's do that. Yeah.
Hey, John. Paul Schwartz with the New York Post.
Hey,
you mentioned coming in here that New York feels different and is different. You want everything in Baltimore. You want a Super Bowl. What is your sense of New York and what it's going to be like for you and possibly winning here in New York?
Well, the skyline's a lot different. I noticed that right away. No two places are ever the same. No two people are the same. Obviously you meet people in places and circumstances where you find them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take every one of those things we meet head on and do the best we can with it every single day. And, you say you do the best you can with it every single day. Well, that means a lot when you really think about what that means. Are we really doing our best? Are we really putting everything we have into it for this day? Are we really attacking the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind? Another level? Is that possible? Is that something that we can accomplish? Can we have the best meeting and the best practice in the history of the National Football League? Can we? We can if we decide to, right, guys? We can if we decide to. And when you do that day by day, you build something, you take it onto the field, and you let the chips fly, and you go play some ball.
That's right there.
Hey, John. Art Stapleton from the Bergen Record and NorthJersey.com. Just curious, you obviously 18 years ago, you had a vision, and 18 years later, I'm sure you have that same vision, but I'm curious, from what you learned, do you come here knowing that the path can be different, and how much of that vision has changed through the years of what you want to do and how you build a champion?
Well, one of the things you learn a lot. One of the things is this, that they're principles, right? And the principles of the vision you're talking about, that's that word, are written in stone. Their football principles are self-evident truths. They aren't going to ever change. Those are things that you carry with you through 18 years or 42 years or whatever it is. You carry those principles with you. You learn what they are, and they're non-compromised. They can't be. They have to happen. The methods, those things are like drawn in the dirt. You're drawing up a play. Come on, guys. Here's what we're going to do, and you draw it in the dirt. You got to keep those things moving. Play calls, defensive schemes, blitz patterns, how you lift weights, how you train, whatever, how you practice. Practices have changed a lot, haven't they, over the years? They've changed a ton. So all those things are all going to change as we go. So those things, 18 years and 40-some years, they've all evolved and changed and grown, and they'll continue to change every single day. So understand those two things, principles and methods, and try to merge them the best you can to try to win the next game. Keep it simple. Try to win the next game, and that's what we'll try to do.
Hey, John. Pat Leonard from the New York Daily News. What qualities do you prioritize in the players that you acquire and that will play for you for the New York Giants?
Well, there's a lot of qualities that go into it. Joe's got lists and lists of qualities for all the different positions and all that you'd be looking for. But to me, the number one thing is we have to have guys that love football. You just have to. It's football. What are we here for? What do we do? What is this building for? It's for football. Football. We need guys that love everything about football. They love the games. They love the practices. They love the weightlifting. They love the meetings. They love the dining hall. They love every football. Man, guys, if you love football, you're going to want to be here. You're going to want to drive in that parking lot every single day. You're going to want to walk through those doors. You want to walk up in those halls. You're going to want to get in front of that tape and watch tape every single day because you're going to be around a bunch of guys that love what you love. They love football because that's what we're going to be doing, football, all the time, every day. And if there's guys, around that don't love football, Joe, we're probably going to let those guys go play somewhere else, because if you don't love football, you're not going to love it here because we'll be doing football. That's the plan. All right.
John, congratulations. Ian O'Connor with The Athletic. Just trying to sustain winning over the long term is probably the hardest thing to do in a league built on parity. But is there a common thread that ran through your 18 years in Baltimore, whether it was something else that you think you could apply here that's sort of mandatory to have the same kind of success?
Yeah. We'll see. To me, it goes back to every single day. You just never know what the next day is going to bring. And you got to understand that it's really not about what you face. Sometimes the triumphs are much more dangerous than the trials. Sometimes the good times are the things that you got to be more wary of than the tough times. So we've got to do a great job of handling all the circumstances in the best possible way to keep it simple and keep in mind what's important. It's even as much as I'm sure the guys love all the media. They love all you guys being around probably every single day, right? It's really great. But, but we got to keep it about football. So we want to do our jobs and be respectful of all the opportunities that come with that. But really what it boils down to is let's attack this day with an enthusiasm. And let's get ready for the next challenge that's in front of us, whether it's OTA practice or, we got squat day tomorrow, Got to be great. Got to have a great squat day. Whatever it might be, we got to be ready to roll. So I think that's probably the thread that runs through those 18 years. Just kind of taking that mindset every day and everybody believing in it. And then being, it's how you play. And when that tape comes on, that tape is going to last forever. And you're going to want to be proud of what you see. So you got to make a decision and a choice beforehand. How am I going to play? What's that tape going to look like? It's not about whether you make the play. Well, it is whether you win or lose. Ultimately, whether you make the play or don't make the play. We know that because it's a player's game. But what you can decide on is how you're going to play. How hard am I going to play? How physical am I going to play? How much am I going to be locked into my assignment, okay, to try to do things the right way, my footwork, my technique, try to win my battle. Am I willing to finish the play? Am I going to run all the way to the ball, all right, and then arrive there in a real bad attitude and make a statement when I get there? Am I willing to do that every single play? I don't have to decide, oh, maybe he'll make the tackle. I don't have to run over there. No. You put your foot in the ground, you start running, all right? That's what great defenses do. So that's it. That's to me, those two things. If you do that, then you have a chance, all right? Then you have a chance, and you go let the chips fly.
Steve Wino, Associated Press. John, you mentioned good conversations with Joe during this process. What's it like to sort of get to know and work with a new person after 18 years somewhere else? And what do you expect that sort of relationship to be on a day-to-day basis? Yeah, I expect it to be phenomenally great. I think it's going to be incredible. I really do. I already know because we've had a chance to start talking to each other. But you work with new people all the time. But Joe's been around the National Football League for years and years. He's got a tremendous amount of experience. I'm going to be leaning on him, and he's going to be leaning on me. We're going to be leaning on everybody around us, right?
And it's not just it's not just us. I mean, it's a whole organization. We're going up the chain. We've got incredible experience all the way up to the very top here. All right, in different areas. And John Mara, nobody knows more about this league, right? So we'll be working, whatever it might be. It's X's and O's, it's strategic planning, it's the draft, it's free agency, it's contracts. People all through the building that are just incredibly talented people. So the idea is let's work together. All right, let's work together every single day and let's build something great.
Hey, John, Jordan Ronan from ESPN. I'm curious, when you did a lot of research and background on the roster before you got here, like the last few weeks, what did you see when you looked at the roster?
I see a lot of really good players when I look at the roster. Really, well, not the roster so much as the tape. That's where you look. You look at the tape. You know, that's what shows you, right, guys? It shows you. It's on the tape. So I look at the tape, and I see a lot of good football players, and not just me, my dad. All right? So he calls me up about 3 days into this process, and he goes, "You watch the Giants?" I'm like, "Yeah, I watch them. I watch them." He goes, "You see the way they come off the ball on offense? You see that offensive line? You see that offense? You see those guys? You see that quarterback? You know, you see that defense? See that front? You see those guys flying around back there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw it. I saw it." So when my dad told me, I knew it was true. We have a chance. We have a chance. Yeah.
Hey, John, Dan Duggan from The Athletic. A big change with your arrival is having the head coach report directly to ownership. Just curious, why was that something that was important to you?
Well, you know, to me, it's really not that important in the big picture, in the big scheme of things. I think it's kind of overblown just a little bit in terms of how it works. But the main thing is that it works, you know, and that we work together. That's what matters. So that's kind of what I was used to. And it felt like a good way to kind of start off. And I think Mr. Mara was happy about that. It seemed like it made sense. And I'm just happy. But I don't think it really matters. I think we're all going to work together. And I promise you, we all report to the boss, right? And the boss is ownership. And John Mara is running football operations here, and he's running it. And I'm glad he is. And that's also all the families and everybody involved. That's where it starts. And we respect that, right, Joe? And we want our bosses to be happy. We want them to be smiling and happy. We want them to know we're trying to do things the right way every single day. And that's what matters. All the other stuff is just definitions.
Coach, good afternoon. Simone, Live Pix 11 here in New York. Obviously, the real boss is your wife, Ingrid.
Well, that's a good point. That's a great point.
But often says, great coaches, there's always a great coach's wife. Just wondering, what it's been like behind the scenes for you guys becoming ingrained somewhere for so long. And, it's got to be difficult to make those changes and just to have her support. What does it mean to you behind the sceens?
That's a great question. It means everything. I mean, I have the most amazing wife and the most incredible daughter. And it's just the three of us, 3 Ps, the 3 Ps in a pod. That's what we call ourselves. And it's just incredible. We've been together for a long, long time. And, this profession is crazy. I mean, it's, you live a lifetime in a season in the National Football League. It's the things that you go through, the ups and the downs, and the emotional roller coaster and the conversations and challenges. These players can tell you. Everybody that works here can tell you that. It's that. Then it's not just you. It's your family. Your wife is with you every step of the way and more, because she'll tell me, you're not out there. You're not out there hearing it every single day. You get to go to your office and you don't have to listen to anything, right? You've said that to me. She's out there. She's fighting, she's out there fending them off. And so I appreciate that. I got to fight her for a wife and you better, so no, it's been what it is. And it's been great because it just, because of who we are together. So I'm very, very, very proud of that. Very happy with that.
Sorry, John. Joe Messeri, Pix 11. Congratulations again here. The NFL is a league where we see teams go worst to first all the time. Plenty of evidence this year. Is there a similar characteristic you see among those teams that that manage to have those big turnarounds from one year to the next? And do you see what do you see here that indicates that? Well,
that's a great question, and it's probably something that maybe I should take a look at. We'll do some kind of study. We got all these analytics guys, so we'll have them do a study on that. But to me, I see the teams that play really good. That's what I see. And the teams that play really good have a lot of common denominators. And we've been talking about those things throughout the course of this press conference. So that's what we're going to be chasing. It's going to be about how we play. It's going to be about us every single day, just becoming as good as we can be. If we're going to be in coverage, we need to be square. Our eyes need to be where it's supposed to be. We need to be doing things the right way. So whatever it is, let's do it the right way and see how good we can get.
Beautiful. Anything else? Coach, we're all set.
All right, great. Thank you very much. It's an honor. Thanks a lot.
Out of the way.
Excuse us.
Excuse us. Excuse me, guy with the glasses. You're upset. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna make fun of him. We're gonna make fun of him. I'm trying my best. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. We've been around Let's get on. Yeah, congratulations. Really excited. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Are you gonna do more?
It came pretty natural. Both grown men who've been in this a long time. I know it was reported I was 63 years old, but I'm a little older than that. Thanks, Ian, wherever that is. But it was a great learning experience for myself too. But we just hit it off really well.
Chris, you guys had the runway to start doing research on the coaches. When do you think
Didn't come up immediately because we didn't think he'd be available. So it started with coordinator, offense, defense throughout the whole, and then the possibility of whoever would be available to start this research on. Yeah, I still was. I didn't think it'd be available.
When did you think? How much have you spoken before this process?
Never.
So is it just an immediate?
Hey, come all the way up. Come up to the front. Come up to the front. Come up to the front. Bye.
This is Tom over the top who else?
As you were talking about how you weren't sure when he was going to be available or not, when did you actually find out he was available? Were you the first person you called? Who called you and you realized he would let go? And then was it immediately, let's go get the guy?
Yeah, we discussed it as a Tom Goffin set it up for me in terms of contact info. I'd never talked to John Harbaugh in my life until I got to his house.
What do you think about the
pressing was when you met John? He's a born leader sitting next to him, like his colleagues. He looks at the whole picture, not one side of the ball, not special teams, not defense. He looks at the whole picture.
Chris,
what do you
we
think
haven't
of the
spoken to you since the end of the season. Giving John Harbaugh final say on personnel.
Well, I know that's a big deal around here, final say. He didn't have final say. It's collaborative, and he's the first to admit that. If he had final say with everything in that building, he wouldn't be able to do his job. So he's going to be like the most important cog in the wheel, let's put it that way. But in terms of final say, this is going to be a collaborative effort between ownership, general manager, and head coach.
What did you think about the whole management structure changing now, like as a whole, like reporting directly to ownership rather than to the general manager?
Listen, life has plenty of changes, and we've tried both ways, and we're just comfortable doing this with him. I think with anybody else, maybe it might not have happened that way, but everyone was in agreement, so we're good.
Chris, when you sat down with him the first time, what was his main question to you? What did he want to know most of all about the Giants?
Well, my objective was to explain to him about ownership, and then he asked me 8 million questions about players, about facility, about structure, and we just had a man-to-man talk for a couple hours while the game was going on in the background, and he wanted to know about a lot of the players, some of the coaches we have. I gave him some first-hand information on that.
Chris, we haven't spoken to you since the end of the season.
In Baltimore, did he lose the locker room? Did he have supportive key guys? Did you do your research on that end to put any of those?
A little bit, yeah, but him and I did not discuss any of that. He's a true pro. He didn't badmouth anybody. He didn't say how bad it was in Baltimore at all. It was all about what was going to happen with the Giants. That's what we talked about.
But you guys did your research on that, or
we did a lot of research on it, yes.
We haven't spoken to ownership since the decision to fire Brian Dable and retain Joe Shane. What went into that, and why did Joe stick around? And has he gotten an extension?
I think Joe stuck around because of what you just heard Coach said. That's why he was around here. He knows Joe probably better than me at this point, but he stuck around because Joe has a really great knowledge of the National Football League, and they hit it off really well.
Has he received an extension? Chris, just from a human standpoint for you, what was it like to go through this process while John's others is battling something so serious? What were your emotions throughout this?
My emotions were, let's get it done, because John, he was really high on Harbaugh, and I knew that's who he wanted. We cast a wide net on the whole coaching staff, and he was number one on it.
Has Joe received an extension? Did you feel like you had a great shot at him, and also why was he the guy that you wanted?
When I left his house on that day, I drove there. I drove home, and I talked to John. I talked to Steve, and I said, "This guy wants to be a Giant."
As the process dragged on, the negotiation process, was there any doubt in your mind that it was going to get done?
No.
Chris,
I didn't have it. No, I knew there was a lot of work.
What was the biggest hurdle?
Let's go. They wouldn't, the security wouldn't let us shoot Jen, he started. Okay. Far in,
Never got a job shoot.
Okay.
It's a long court, so.
I'm about to go one-on-one with John Harbaugh, so I can dial when I have a chance. They are giving all the local affiliates one-on-ones with Harbaugh, so I can't dial in right now. Our web, can you dial into the IFB for 1 p.m.?
At this rate, we're gonna do this interview live with them.
Yeah.
They could just take it.
Yeah.
Don't fucking, like, tell them, look.
If you want, you can take the interview live.
Don't expect like us to wait for your problem.
She asked me questions, and I didn't want to start the scene, and then. Oh, sorry.
The whole time, if that's what you want. Put them in your ear if they're not on you.
Okay.
Take it out. But
Yeah.
at least dial in, and then like if they're
Okay.
not on you, then take
Okay.
it out, and then
Okay.
when you finish, put it back in your ear.
Yeah.